Welcome back to The Great Circle, the animal survival experience set in an African wildlife preserve. I'm TJ, developer and creator of the project, bringing you a gameplay stream of the new African rock python. I'm going to be testing it out in game for the first time, really. I've been testing it in the editor, but now I'm going to kind of see how it is to play in the package build of the game. And giving you guys a look, because you probably haven't seen it yet. But yeah, if you don't know, you can follow The Great Circle on any social media platform: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We're on Steam. You can wishlist the game. We're actually streaming to all of those platforms right now. So wherever you're watching, make sure you give us a follow. Make sure you give it a like. You can go into the description of this video to see the link tree, which links to all the social media, so follow us everywhere. You can join our Discord and play the free demo. You can get that in the link tree as well. If you have questions, ask them in the chat as I'm going here. And let's go ahead and do this. Get that loaded up. And and if you miss the stream, just post a comment with your question. But don't forget to like. Don't forget. Just hit that little button. Anyways, let's get going. It's not broken. I gotta fix the thing where it shows that thing before the whole world is loaded. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited. So African rock python is one of those animals that I was a little bit hesitant to really get into. It's one of those slower moving animals, and the world being as big as it is, I kind of thought there wasn't really a viability or fun playthrough for slow animals, because there's sulcata tortoises in the game, snapping turtles are in the game, big slow animals basically. I thought, oh my god, you got to do migrations and stuff. It's going to be a little bit of a pain. This is one of the reasons I never got into very tiny creatures either. Like somebody said, hey, can you play as an ant? Like, I was like, no. Like, you're going to travel like maybe a square mile your entire life when there's just so much more of the world to see. But I'm finding, as I play with the African rock python and other animals that are slower, like the crocodiles, for example, that any playthrough can be interesting, and actually it's probably going to be vital to the development of the world, because it kind of forces the developer to kind of develop the world around the animal that they're developing. And so a good selection or variety of animals is probably really good for the world building. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. This is looking. William 11 says this is looking good. Any idea when mobile is launched? I have no idea when mobile will be launched, but I would like to get the game on mobile for sure. But I've never released anything on mobile before, so it's gonna be hard for me to say. But definitely, if you have a PC, you can give this a try now. Alright, so one thing I'm noticing, I might actually be fully grown or half grown. I'm not totally sure, because the growth counter for the rock python is not fully done. Let me see, we're southeast grasslands. Where are we heading? Okay, so we don't have a migration path because we are predator, so we're going to be following other animals. So what I want to do is figure out where the other animals are and find out where they're heading. So I'll have prey to prey on. I'm a slow moving creature, so kind of what I want to do is find a good spot where I know other animals are going to be, and kind of lie in wait to ambush them, because I'm not running anything down. Basically. Let's see. Oh wait, it does show me. That's not good. That's kind of like cheating. By the way, I doubled the speed for the python, so it is going to look a little weird, but I'm just have that so that I can get to where I want to be quickly. So it is going to be slower, and it is going to be more of an ambush predator. What's up, Chintana? Welcome to the stream. It says, but not all migrate, as well as just a matter of giving those animals different play styles, different things to do. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, the migration is not for every animal, but it was the idea for every animal that I wanted to go for in the beginning. So it was like, if it couldn't migrate, I didn't want to work on the animal. because I didn't want to have to. Uh, I didn't want any part of this to be boring, and I figured like if it couldn't migrate, it's probably gonna be boring playthrough. But that's not actually true, which is a good thing. Let's see here. So what I want to do is move slowly, because the more you move, the easier it is for things that you want to hunt to see you. And what I want to do is try to find movement by other animals so that I can sneak up on them and grab them. But I guess we are going to just be moving in general towards the migration area this way. Animal sense is always on, so I don't really need to press the scent button, but if I do, my scent range is 3 times larger. Snake has a really large scent radius, so I could just kind of let it just be what it is, and when body heat or something is sensed, it's going to, or scent is gonna show like a little smoke. What's that? Oh, it's a white stork. Got a few of those white storks out here. Let's see. Guess we want to go this direction. We'll just keep moving slowly. William 11 says, "What is the red trail left behind as you move?" Those are actually the representation of scent particles right now. So I'm leaving my own scent behind, but oh wait, there's something right there. Where is it? I have my auto walk on. There was definitely something here. It's not moving anymore. Anyways, all animals leave behind scent, and scent carries the information about like what kind of animal it is, what the gender is, and in the future is going to have more info, such as like if the animal is injured, if the animal is in heat and can mate. Like if it's your same species, then you'll know if you can mate with it. A lot of info is going to pass through scent in this world. But yeah, I'm leaving my own scent behind. The reason it's constantly on is, oh, I see something right there. The reason it's constantly on is right now scent is automatic. I take an automatic approach to a lot of the new mechanics till people get used to it. And but yeah, it's always, see that animal leaving its scent behind right there? Let's find out what that is. Now if I walk over or crawl over this scent, it will tell me what it is. And I can decide if I want to go after it or not. It's not showing anything right now, so I think I might have messed up the code there. It looks like a turtle, so I'm not actually going to hunt that. Yeah, it's a turtle. That's a tortoise. I'm not going to hunt it. I want something like a rat or a little bird or something like that. But now what it is telling me though is this turtle is heading towards food. So if I were to follow it, or if I didn't know where the migration path was, I would just go in the direction that this thing is heading, because he can smell the food. I can't smell the plants. What up, Captain Brooks? Oh wait, I skipped somebody's stuff. Let me see. Oh, Team Challenge says, I like Ankylosaurus in game. I thought it was fun, but I know it's not for everyone. I agree with you. Different strokes for different folks. Captain Brooks says, so how's POT growth test treating you? Haven't seen you in ages. I mean, I tried it that one day, but it was like I already knew it's not really my thing to be doing quests. Until there's another way of growing other than quests, I probably won't be playing that much. Or until I just get back on and just go through and find a community server that maybe has I don't know, like maybe a short growth time, or I don't know, they've altered it in some way. The questing thing is not for me. I was there for the dinos. I was never there for the questing. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. So now there are 2 migration paths that we can go through. I kind of want to continue this way. You know what? Because there is water over here. Generally, I kind of just want to see... Oh, hang on now. There's a body over there. I smell blood. But it's kind of way out of my scent range. When I press this, this is like 3 times the distance away. I don't want to go back that far for that. But then again, I do need to eat something. Let's see. Alright, don't judge me for this. I'm going to my, this is like my sitting down animation or whatever. But it snaps too. It doesn't transition easily yet, but I will. It will transition easily. I'm just kind of waiting for something to look like it's moving or leaving scent. Dragonflies. I haven't really seen anything yet, so I'm just gonna keep going. Hold on, what's that? Maybe that's a rock? I'm not sure. A bone, maybe. Oh, hang on. That's a glitch. I can see the food. Well, we're gonna have to fix that. I'm not supposed to be able to tell where the plant food is. Captain Brooks says you should go on Asura because growth is 1.5 times and there's no rules. Question about that, Brooks. What about, do they have timed growth? Or are you saying like you get, oh, there's a bird right here. I caught him. I got him. See him struggling? Boom. Oh, I didn't get much from that. Let's get another. Snatched him up pretty good. Dang it, I need to... I'm missing the... Hang on, sorry, let me grab my phone. It'd be easier to look at the comments that way. So it's like I'm seeing different comments on different sources here, different from the other channels. They're supposed to be like relaying so that I don't miss anything. Let me scroll back a little bit. And you pretty much speed run through Juvie. I like the idea of speed running. When 11 says Path of Titan's growth is horrible, not gonna lie. I'm agreeing with that mostly. It doesn't have to be. I think they can make changes to make quests better, but I generally just, in general, just feel like quest is a bad idea for the genre itself. At least the twig gathering quests and stuff like that. I feel like dinosaur games right now are not in a good state. I think they're in the best state they've ever been. They may not be ideal yet, but the thing is they're redefining what's ideal. So there's some figuring out that goes along with that. You know, I haven't enacted this yet, but the the metabolism of the rock python is going to be a lot slower. So it's like you're not going to have to eat as often as other animals. In other words, ooh, things have slowed down quite a bit. There might be a lot of animals coming up. Hang on one second. Let me see here. Yeah, this is what I meant to do right here. Capture. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, they have time growth as well. Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing, Catherine Brooks. So last I checked, this was kind of earlier when growth came out, but like growth was taking anywhere from 7 to 12 hours for people, and we're talking just one dino. Just looking at the Allosaurus, that's doing quests. It took that long. That's unacceptable to me as far as doing quests. And even if it's time growth, that's unacceptable to me. If they were to cut that in half so that we're talking more 3 to 7 hours, something like that, still unacceptable to me, honestly. Maybe not 3 hours if we're talking one of the big dinos. Like, I think 3 hours like more maximum. But like anything beyond, you know what, let's compare it directly to that. Anything beyond 5 hours is unacceptable in time growth, because it's like, what else are you gonna do in the game other than quests, which are boring by nature, or you know, just not doing anything. You have to fight in the game. That's basically what the game is, in my opinion. I need a rabbit. I need something small or bigger. What's that? I can't eat that. That's a zebra. However, I can get a size comparison. Let's figure out how big we are. I think I'm half the size that I can be right now. What's up, Bacillitherius? A bit late to the stream, but now I'm here. How did the constricting system turn out you recently worked on? I would say, if I can put this into like a quantitative... Oh, I'm actually quite big. Okay, so I am half my size. Okay. I can actually get twice as big as this. It actually is going really well. It's going to be more complicated than I originally thought. Let me see if the scent will... Oh, it does show me the scent. Okay, cool. It shows me that's a zebra, and the zebra is male. It's a male zebra. I learned that from that scent. Yeah, it's going really well. There's actually 2 types that I came up with. There's the grab and hold type, and then there's the grab and constrict. Or actually, there's 2 stages, I should say. The grab and hold stage, and then there's the constrict and suffocate stage. So it's a little complicated. I'm redefining how that's going to work, but like what I'm seeing is that I can use part of that system for like the pouncing for like the lion or leopard, for example, or I can use part of that system for like tree climbing and stuff. So it actually has been really productive for the game in general. Alright, so since the food is this way, if I follow this zebra, the other animals should be staying in the general area too. I need to take a note. I just realized there's another thing that I could, another type of stat that I need to put in the game. I need to make it easy to change their metabolism for the animals. Wait, what was that? What was that? Oh, there's something here. I got him. Oh, it's a little bird, another bird. Sometimes it's just a little too easy. Um, so I grab them and automatically I just kind of put them in my hold here. Now the time it takes to swallow them directly correlates to how big they are. And there is a maximum size that I can grab. It's going to be about half the size of the length of this creature. Let's see if we can find something like a rabbit or something that's normally fast. Turn up my senses. Let's see here. Calvin Brooks says, but it's very slow. It's more viable. Oh, it's very slow, so quest is more viable. Oh, well, there's no point in me doing it then. If quests take like anywhere from 7 to 12 hours to do quests, and then you're saying the passive growth takes longer than that, that's just not enjoyable at all. I don't want to be just waiting for that long. You kind of have to think about this as like how if your Path of Titans are games similar in their position. The way that I would kind of be thinking about it is like, how many hours does the average person have when they get off work, that kind of thing. Because this is the gameplay loop is not advanced enough for like 12 hours of growth. No way. All I got is a zebra over here. Let's keep going this way. This auto walk on. Team Tano says they're not fun right now, is what I mean. Just hope that changes soon. Tano also says, I agree the long work times are annoying. Now, if it was a fun, it's not just the fact that it's long, it's that it's long and it's like there's really nothing fun to do while you're growing, in my opinion, because I don't find quests fun, so maybe some people do. I'm sure some people do. I don't. So to me, well, that just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Let me move away from this buffalo and see if that spawn distance has changed. This is my max speed. It's actually still too fast. Let me see how far away I can be from this buffalo. This is the trot speed, or in other words, mid speed. Okay. Maybe he just happened to pop in right there. He should be right around where the zebra would disappear. It should be where he disappeared, because he's bigger than the zebra. Anyways. Oh, wait, what's that? What's that? Is that a rabbit? Something over here. Anyway, like in terms of this game, I actually want to do long-term. A long-term goal of mine is to make the growth times much longer than people are used to in this genre, but I don't plan to do it until the gameplay loop or experience is fun enough to support it. Like there have to be enough things in the life cycle or gameplay loop for the Python for me to justify more than a few hours growth. Let's say I want to do it to where it takes pretty much like a week to grow it. I can't do it until there is a week's worth of fun in that growth. Not just that, repeatable fun. So stuff that you would do if you wanted to play it multiple times. I can't do it until that matches, but that's fine to have a goal like that. Because I wouldn't be complaining about Path of Titans growth if quests were actually fun. They're not. They're just tasks to me. It's like punishment. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I want to punish myself? Like, go gather 200 lychees. That seems like a chore. puddle? I was having trouble with the puddles earlier. Let me see if that's gone away. Oh, that's a tiny puddle. That's underground. I can't get that. Can't reach it. I can't dig. It's about to rain. Ooh, my boy's getting hungry. I need to find something to eat. Placile Ethereus says, how long is the growth time for the python going to be? By the way, the short form of the name is simply Pokey? Oh, okay. I'll just say Pokey then. Much easier. I don't know yet because it's based, everything about the game is meant to interact with everything else. Like, you grow according to how healthy you are. How healthy you are has to do with how thirsty, hungry, how much fat you have. So it's like two people can be growing the same animal and it can turn out different for many, many different reasons. So I don't know how long yet. What I'm looking at right now is definitely going to change because of metabolism. Metabolism is going to be much slower for the rock python really soon, so it's like that's going to affect the growth time too. So I don't know yet. Right now it's like similar to the elephant. It's hard for me to say. I don't know. But right now, if you wanted to, you start at 40% is how the stats that I had it as is right now are, and right now we're at 65%, so it's a really fast grow, but this is a test. I'm testing right now, so it's not anything like what it's going to be. Maybe I should have tried to grab one of those storks. We're clipping into the ground. Don't worry. I'll have that fixed. I'm drinking water, even though I'm not close enough. I forgot to readjust where the sensor is. It should be matching where the ground is, but it's not. So let's go to that body. Let's see if there's anything small at the body. What was that? Oh, there's hippos over here. Oh, shit. You coming for me? Oh, wait, look at that. It's an otter? I'm about to snatch this otter. Oh, I can't grab him. Alright, I'm sorry. That didn't work out like I thought. I thought I could grab him. Oh, now I realize how small I am. I'm like almost twice the size of the otter in length. He wants to fight now. Okay, he gave up. He's not interested. Alright, that could have turned out bad. Alright, so I actually am pretty small. I thought it was bigger. Oh, hippo's getting up. There's a hippo gang over here. Gang of hippos, dude. Team Tano says, we'll say at least the Isle is adding the diet system that cuts your growth time if you do it well. I think you cut Utah growth time to 1 hour, which is nice. That does seem. Oh, let me try to grab this. I got him, dude. It doesn't quite look right, but I have him. So that, see the damage? I'm doing damage to him. So I'm constricting him right now. Got him. He's dead. Now I just need to curl up and swallow him. Actually, he's not dead. But he's gonna be. No. Actually, he is dead. He's dead, but he's, what happened is the animation for him to be stuck is stuck. So that's gonna show that until I swallow him. Now, give me time. I will actually show the rock python actually swallowing its prey. It'll be easier to do it with birds and small stuff at first, like frogs and stuff. But I can, eventually, I will show him ingesting this thing whole. Just give me time. So I'm swallowing him. So technically what's happening is I'm swallowing him right now, but it's taking a while because he's bigger than the other prey. Alright, so I swallowed him. Now, what's also going to happen in the future is my body's going to be big compared to what I ate. So it's going to be like a big ass lump in the middle, and it's going to show that I have a meal. Let's see if I can grab. Where'd that bird go? Anyways, yeah, so it's not just the length of growth that makes growth fun or not. It's what you're gonna be doing while growing. I don't think I can grab this. Can I grab this? Nah, he's too big. I hit him though. Oh, there's a malfunction. He's taking damage. Let's see if I release him. He's dead. Look at that. Let me see if I can pick him up now. The physics for a snake needs some adjustment. Can't pick him up. I should be able to eat him. Dang it. I'll try to eat something smaller. Alright, so we're not having any trouble with the tiny birds, but we are having trouble with the bigger stuff. Alright, now it's letting me eat. Now it's decomposing. Now let's move on. I want to catch a rabbit or something. crocodile over here. Can't eat the croc. Although, how cool will it be if I get big enough that I'm able to eat like juvenile-sized crocs? I'm pretty. That's a small croc, actually. He's malfunctioning. Oh no, he's not. So the malfunction is he's taking constriction damage right now, even though I'm not constricting him anymore, so I have to fix that. But that's what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to kill you slowly over time. Ooh, what's that? I think it's an otter. Get close to him. What is that thing? Bush? I don't think anybody really should be thinking about. I don't think anybody really should be thinking about their growth that much in a game like this. I feel like if you have time to think about your growth, you're probably bored, and that's a bad sign. Growth should be fun, no matter what it is. Catch up to him. Come here. Oh, he got me. Otters are dangerous. If I was bigger, I could have, What have animations by Deuce? Animation says, my anaconda don't want none because I'm on low HP. That sounds like a riddle. Anacondas are cool too. I considered finding an excuse to put him into the game earlier, but I was like, rock python is enough. So far, the python seems to have a strange limit to what it can eat. A python that size could have easily killed and eaten the otter and the flamingo. I agree with you. That's a malfunction that I think is specific for the otter, because I remember in the editor when I was full size, I for some reason couldn't grab the otter. So I have to double check and see if there's anything in the otter's code that prevents it from being grabbed. But and it's supposed to be one of the deadlier things to go after too. For a python at least. But I don't know about the flamingo. Got to look at that as well. But based on the size code, they seem like they were right around the size where I should be able to grab them. So I can do bite damage, which is very minimal. It was like doing 1 HP. and I can do constricting damage if I catch them. Actually, there was a malfunction with that too, because some animals took damage as if they were being constricted, even when they weren't. Let's give this a second to load. Yeah, but that's not a limit that I set specifically. That's just the code needs to be corrected. I think the limits of what it's going to eat, well, it's going to be size related, but also I think the biggest thing that you'll be able to eat will be like a antelope, small or a mid-sized antelope. Wow, we're chunking pretty hard here. Let's give it a little more time. There are a bunch of animals around, but not really that many, so I need to see what's up with this area. Let's try a different area real quick. So you're gonna be able to eat some really big meals, but the thing about that is it's gonna make you really slow. And so that's the balance of having a slow metabolism while being a python is yes, you're gonna be able to go really long times without eating, but when you do eat, it is gonna affect your speed. And the bigger your meal, which is gonna last you a really long time, that's going to affect it's going to affect your speed even more. And probably it makes sense that would affect your ability to fight back if you ever got attacked. You'd probably be vulnerable too. The principle of balance. Poke says, how about a mechanic where mongoose or otters and mongooses randomly evade strikes and slap you instead? The otter does slap. That's one of his attack. He can slap. Making it a gamble if a snake wants to tank the health to maybe land a strike on them. So I have tested evasion quite early on, and it's not quite fast enough to mimic the real life fight between, say, a yellow mongoose and a cobra, but it can be made that quick. But the thing is that, as you're imagining it, is going to require a new system to be added, and it's almost like a turn-based thing where it ensures that the enemy is taking an action at the exact same time as the player is taking an action. So like there's like if you imagine RPGs, like a turn-based RPGs where you go to attack, when your character attacks, there's a chance for the other character to tank the hit or to dodge it. You know what I mean? Just based on probability. I would have to make that work in real time to where there is like once you're locked in combat with something, if it's supposed to be able to dodge you like a mongoose or something, the system would have to ensure that they're doing the dodge at the same time as you're doing the attack. Whereas right now, it's just they do it when they want to do it. And so they could dodge, but it's not really going to be like a strike for strike kind of thing. It's more, if they land their hit, they're going to do their damage. And if they manage to get more hits in before you do, that's going to determine the fight. As opposed to what I think actually would be cooler is what you suggest. But that is going to require me to expand the combat in a way that allows a strike for strike kind of situation, which I'm not sure will work for the game ultimately, but I am 100% on board with giving it a try because I think it does sound cool. It would be interesting. Like I would have to program like something like a mongoose specifically to be looking for you to attack to counter. So in other words, it's a counter attack system. So they wait for you to attack and they try to attack right after you or as you're attacking, and that would be their fight style. Focus says so vomiting out to regain mobility would be of use to them. Yes, like realistically speaking, that's what happens in real life. They do vomit so that they can attack again and stuff. But mostly though, they kind of vomit so they can get away faster. But like in the game, the way I see that working is actually that would probably look really cool to see the snake vomiting. But practically speaking, like in terms of combat, if something comes after you like a lion cub or something, and they want to get you, I would imagine like if you had a big meal, like vomiting that up would probably not be very effective. Like the time it takes to vomit something up would probably like, unless I want to like just be like, all right, we're in a video game, so I'm going to speed that process up way faster. But I tend to want to go more towards realism. But if you do it slowly, it's not really combat effective. I think you'll die way long before you get the thing vomited out if we go realistic life. If it's a big meal, you're gonna die. So you're probably better off taking the method of tanking hits or whatever and just staying in one place. But if it's a smaller meal, less time to vomit, just like less time to swallow. And if you're bigger and they're one of the younger predators, where they're not doing as much damage as they would if they're older, that could work. It could work that it works out that way, but I'm not sure. These are in the rock python's near future, but I'm not there yet. But it's very interesting. It is extremely interesting. Bloodlaw says, are there honey badgers? They're my favorite animal. Not yet, but I'm planning to have honey badgers. And they're probably going to be one of the more deadlier prey to go after for snakes. Raptor 1974 says, after vomiting, snakes can't eat for another week or two because the acid from their stomach burns their throats. Oh, I didn't know that. But so we'll see. We'll see if that makes sense for the game or whatever. But we're still in the process of the whole swallow and regurgitating thing. So all that hasn't even come into play yet. Focus says, why not just add a random chance for the snake to take damage if one strikes an otter? Oh shit! What was that? It sounded like a trap. If one strikes an otter / or mongoose, the slapping could simply be the default take damage animation for them. Well, now you're talking about methods, like coding methods. Maybe, I don't know. Got to look into that. My instinct is, I don't think I want to do that, because one of the things I already ran into trouble with when I tried to constrict or swallow that pig, it got stuck on that one animation. There's things about Unreal, the way they handle how you call. See, these are questions. These are things that probably should not be discussed. There are things about the way Unreal Engine gives you or issues that come up with how the functions that allow you to call animations, and then reconnect with the bodily functions and stuff that make that complicated. Like, it may be more trouble than it's worth. I'm not sure. The random chance thing, though, I don't know about that yet. That would come into play if I do the thing that I was describing with making sure that they attack at the same time. Like what you described would be a way to do it within Unreal, but I don't know that I want to do it that way yet. Like, whatever I do is gonna fit within the system that I'm setting up already, unless I decide I absolutely have to set up a different combat damage system and everything. Because remember, whatever I do, if it ain't gonna work for like 83 other animals, then it's gonna be a massive time suck. Because it means it's only gonna work for that animal, and then other animals are gonna malfunction if they try to interact. Wow, I'm slowing down. Maybe I have something running on my computer. Hang on. Let me see if we can. Let me check my task manager. Well, the editor is open. Something else is open. We should be fine though. Let me get moving a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Where even am I? No, something's wrong. So, let me see. Did I open another instance? Let me give it a minute or two, but it seems like something's going wrong. I want to at least see what area I'm in, so I'll know if I need to check the map to see if there's anything wrong. So let me give it a second. Random Kale says howdy. Howdy, Random Kales. Welcome back to the stream. I think something went wrong. Let's try it again. Actually, I'm gonna have to, let me close the entire game out and reopen it. I feel like something's amiss here. And I want to eliminate possibilities. I want to make sure it's not the game. So let's try to run it again. Be right back. Question from Lovely Kales. How much will this game be? I don't know. I do not know. Hard for me to even have an idea. I can tell you the free oh, it's back. Hang on. Just go ahead and load it up in the background. I can tell you the free demo is free. If you want to try the free demo, it's the elephant demo. The link is in the description. Just hit the link tree, and in the link tree you'll see free demo is one of the links. Just click that. It'll show you the notes for the demo, like all the stuff that's in it, and you can download it, try it. So it's at least partially free right now. Does anyone know if that's does anyone know if anyone else has free demos in this genre? Are there any free demos in this genre other than mine? Does anyone know? Pokey says, Raptor, the reason snakes generally refuse to eat for about a week after regurgitating is stress. Reptiles deal very poorly with stress. Crocodilians often die. They often die to it in the zoo. That is probably very true. Like, they do go through a lot of stress because, number one, they do stop breathing so that they can swallow food. They gotta hold their breath. Oh, yeah. Let's pause this music. back in here. I wonder if I can get into that Ranger Tower as a snake. Let me find out. Well, the Kale says demo is fire. I'm glad. Poke says all the Roblox games are generally for free. What about non-Roblox games? What about like on, let's say, Steam, or even outside of Steam? Like Path of Titans is not on Steam. They have their own launcher. Are there any in this genre that are not Roblox that are free? I vaguely remember somebody saying there was one, but that was like months and months and months ago. I don't remember the name. It might have been a mobile game, now that I think about it. Can I drink from this puddle? Can I drink? Nope. Alright, so that's one thing I need to check on. Pythons should be able to drink from puddles just like every other animal, but we can't. Alright, let's see if we can get over the fence. There's a little fence here. Ooh, I was gonna say, can I slither under it? I need to make it so that I can slither underneath. I don't think there's a break in this fence anywhere. But what we can see is there's a Ranger Tower, and there's a Ranger truck there. Don't see a Ranger right now. Well, the Kale says, not sure. Pokey says, one of them is actually the first game to have a working constriction mechanic. Holocene TS... Oh, testing server. Oh. Good for them, for Roblox. Well, the Kale says, oh, Path of Titans. It's a demo. What I meant was, like, Path of Titans isn't free, though. Like, they had, like, a, was it ever free? Like, let me think. Part of it should be free, right? Is it the mobile that's free? Is there any part of Path of Titans that's free? It's a demo for now. What doesn't matter so much is if they call it a demo or not, like, because there's just, you know, the terms are kind of interchangeable with, like, alpha, pre-alpha, demo, release, unreleased, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. Is there anything do they offer anything for free? Is there any free offering of that game? I might be the only one. Also, that's dinosaurs. This is animals. But, you know what? We can count that, too. It's like a, technically, like, dinos should be like a subgenre of animals. Animal survival, but it's the other way around. Animal survival is currently a subgenre of, like, dinos, because dinos is way bigger. Much bigger genre in terms of popularity right now. But I predict this will be a much bigger genre, because more people know about animals than dinos. Many more animal enthusiasts than dinos in the world, I believe that to be true. Alright, let's sit still, see if we can find anything by motion and scent. Maybe I need a motion indicator for the Python, or maybe I need a Python or snake view that makes seeing things moving easier, kind of like night vision. Oh, there's motion right there. Where'd it go? Which way? Left or right? Left or right? That's my scent. Oh, there it is. I see it. Oh, hang on. question from Lola Kales. Do humans actually kidnap you from the wild? Yes. Well, so there's, I'm gonna see if I can find one, but there are traps actually, like poacher traps in here. And what happens is if you get stuck in one, it'll hold you until poachers come and get you. But if you are grown enough, and if you use enough of your energy, you can like break out by turning the trap over. It'd be great if I can find one, but like I do have poacher traps in the in this demo that I'm playing right now. And it's like it has food in it, so it's like it's an obvious trap. But like if you're hungry, you might try to get that food to see if you can get it and get out, because there is a way that you can do that. So you can potentially steal food from a hunter trap, but if you get caught, like the hunters are gonna know, or the poachers are gonna come back and get you. If you haven't broken out, then they'll kill you. That's the game over for you. So absolutely yes. But that's from traps right now. So that's the only way that they come and get you. But in the future, if they just happen to see you, they will hunt you down. Or if one of their dogs sees you, they'll get you that way too. Oh, I missed some. Path of Titans is the demo for now until its official release. But Path of Titans isn't a free demo, from what I know. Poke. Same here. I think they charge at every level something at least. Or it used to be. Lovely Kel says it was. To play other dinos, you have to pay. So, which I would want to know which version was free. Was it the mobile version? Was it the regular PC version? Was it the PC plus the forget the name of it, pre-release, where you get the stretch goals too? Right, so they do call it the demo, whether it's me or mobile, PC, or pre-release. They're all called the demo. Yeah, oh, there's a bird. Alright, this looks nice for the birds. It did miss a little bit. That's alright. I want to see it for the rabbits next. Let's see if we can find a rabbit. To play other dinos, you pay. I mean, when I bought it, it was you had to pay at every level. I didn't see a free version anywhere. A pre-order paid demo. I don't know what that means. That's for mobile though. I heard the mobile version was free from somebody. I don't know if they did that temporarily or if they made it free. Like right now, the mobile version is free. But last I heard, you pay at every level if there's not a promotion going on. But like, snake vision could be many things. Heat vision, highly improved sense, or listening for vibrations in the area. You're right, Pokey. It's probably going to be a combination of those things. But whatever it is, it's just basically something to give you an advantage since you're slower. Then it stands the reason that should be balanced out by having some sort of advantage that will help you ambush other animals. So I'm unsure of what form that would take once implemented. Dylan Cross says, I'm back, and yay! More snake, dude. We have to beat Animalia. What do you mean beat them? We're not competing. What do they have, like 8 animals? I have like 80. The progressing OMG what's that mean? The progress. Oh, the progress. I think we're talking about mine. I can't think of a single thing that game would be better at, other than the thing that I'm not even trying to do right now, which is multiplayer. I would say swimming, but now that my animals swim, that's not a difference either. Um, Terrain alignment. I haven't gotten to that yet, but then again, I don't have a lot of up and down landscape, so that doesn't really matter much yet. I don't know what they have the edge on, other than a bunch of streamers wanting to stream that more, because it's multiplayer. Actually, I think it has a lot to do with that. And then the genre itself, it's a multiplayer genre, so you don't see a lot of single player stuff out there. But yeah, I don't think that there is a competition to really be had. The turning radius in Animalia far exceeds yours. The animals don't have any problems turning. From what I heard, that was actually a weakness. See my snake? See it turning? There's no one-to-one comparison though, right? What does their snake turn at? Like how well does their snake turn? Do they have a snake? Are there any snakes in Animalia? So where's the weakness here? Where's the superiority? I don't know how it works though. I see, for me, when you press W, or when you press D, like to go right, for example, the animal just goes right. Like, it doesn't turn. It doesn't like spin on an axis. Now you could make it do that if you turn on auto walk, right? So now the animal's moving by itself. So now the movement mode changes to where if you hold D down, now it's spinning on an axis. So no matter what you do, if I don't press anything but hold D, now see, it's spinning. From what I heard, that's how Animalia works. But I haven't played it myself. That's how Animalia works from what I heard. But when I have that mode off, if I hold D, it's just going to go right. Technically, I have both methods of movement. So I don't know where they far exceed. I would be interested to know how anything could far exceed. The snow in Animalia is mind-boggling. I've never seen it snow in Africa. It snows in Africa. There are plenty of places where it snows in Africa. Generally, though, I think it's the high elevation mountains, Mount Makenko, a bunch of different mountains and stuff where you find snow. But I think it snows in certain parts of the continent at certain times of the year. Other than that, I don't know that it snows often. I have to research that. But I have snow in the game too. It's just the season is never on winter. If you look in the top left of my screen, you see how it says summer. So I have parts of year, and I define that as either being one of the 4 seasons. So in the demo, it's always summer, but you're going to get the whole year-round experience. So you can have spring, you can have summer, you can have autumn and fall. In the winter in TGC, that's the Great Circle. In the winter, it does snow in this game. I think I showed it one time by accident because I'm not done with winter, and I did the demo, and it was stuck in winter mode on accident. Some of you actually got to play it. Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to scroll to see the thing. I have to go out of the game to do this. Animal bumper carts? I have no idea what that is. Tell me that's a kart racing game with animals, because I would play it. Remember Mario Kart? I hope it's something like that. They are, Lovely Kale says they don't have a snake. I'm not surprised. I have 5. I have venomous ones and I have a constrictor now. Pokey says, my point is your animals turn and Amalia's go into an orbit. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Well, yeah, but see, that's the decision that I made in the beginning. I liked the idea of you press right and your animal just goes right regardless of what your camera's doing. Or you press left and it goes left. Now, the animal does do a turning animation, so if you look, see how its head is turning right? But it doesn't spin on an orbit. However, the point that I was making is, in my auto walk mode, so I press Control plus W, I don't have my hands on the mouse or the keyboard right now. It's just going forward. But if I press D, or if I press right, now it spins on an orbit, and it's continually in a turning right animation, but it doesn't line up right and then continue to go right. It just continues to turn right. From what I understood, that's how the turning for all the animals in that game goes. And if that's true, because I don't know that to be the fact, that does seem awkward. Like, that's the choice that I made. Like, I felt like this would be awkward for the game. I felt like it needed to be a little bit more, less of a tank control kind of thing. But I technically have the best of both worlds then, because I have that turning to me only makes sense in auto walk, because that way you don't have to turn the mouse, you don't have to move the mouse to get it to turn. This way you can actually play the game with one hand. You could just be like this or that. And actually, this is supposed to, if I decide to keep it like this, what's going to happen is the camera will turn automatically. So this technically isn't done yet. But if that's the case, I have the orbit too, see? Now the issue with that would be like how much of the circle. So when people say turn radius, it's not technically correct for the backside, but I get what they're saying. Like, how big is the turning circle that you're making when you're turning? That's where you would need to... That's a level up tone, for those who don't know. That's where you would need to, like, a per animal adjust how much you want how big you want your turning radius is. And that kind of has to be adjusted per animal. But I don't like that style as like the default. I only like it in this mode. If I'm not auto walking, then I like just being able to just do this. But maybe that should be up to the player. Maybe you should have a mode to where you choose if you want the orbit turn or if you just want straight turning. I mean, it's hard to go wrong when you give people a choice, I always say. But the other thing is, like, well, those are two different styles. You know, to say one is better than the other is a little bit subjective. But if we're gonna say that, I have both, so doesn't that make me objectively better? Lovely Cal says, Animali, when I bought that game, I refunded it after playing it for 38 minutes. Why is that? When did you buy it? What was it that made you want to get a refund? Was it not as good as you expected? Did it like give a different impression on the Steam page versus when you bought it or when you played it? Or like, is it that, all right, maybe it works the way you expected, but there's not a lot of people playing yet? I'd be interested to know why you got a refund on that. I may have to face the same thing when I'm in Steam. Dylan Cross says, don't listen to him, your game's looking amazing, especially for one dev. Thank you, Dylan. But that's okay. I genuinely think that this game is superior to that. If we're talking about that game, this game is superior in 98% of the comparison. If we're not talking multiplayer, that leaves like only 2% differences. 2% things that are different for what we're going for, in other words. I think it's better that we're going for humans and they don't. I think it's better that we have a huge map and they don't. I think it's better that we're gonna have story mode and they don't. I think it's better that we're gonna have that I have cinematic and documentary mode and they don't. They don't have any plans to. I don't think so. And I think it's better to have 83 animals than 8. So I'm left with, there's a bunch of people playing in multiplayer. And I think, okay, well, that's better. That's undeniably better. But I can do that too. So, and I will. Later. I'm busy innovating right now, though. What's your favorite season in general? I really feel like summer is the best looking, and the reason I haven't included spring and fall yet is because they don't look distinct enough by themselves yet. So I don't want to put a mode or a time of year in the game where it's like, well, this really looks the same as summer, or this really looks the same as spring. So they're not in yet, but I'm giving them both distinct looks so that I can put them in as soon as possible. Winter actually looks damn impressive in this game, in the Great Circle. So when that arrives, I'm positive y'all are gonna see that snowfall, and y'all gonna see blizzards, and y'all gonna be like, oh man, this is dope, this is different. I think that's gonna bring a thing, but I'm not quite ready for the winter yet. But it will definitely look cool. But my favorite right now is summer, just because it's just the African look. I mean, default. Pokey says, your radius is fine. Animalius is the one I was criticizing. Then again, a snake should be able to do a 180 and go back on itself. But then again, the programming for that, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. I'm actually working on that. The reason it's not in now is because I had to break... Uh-oh. I think the game's about to crash. Hey, the stream might crash in a couple minutes, so if it does, I'll probably restart another stream. But I'm gonna go ahead and exit out right now. Hopefully I don't crash it. If I do crash it, thanks for joining. Are you guys still here? Am I alone? Are we still here? Hey God, let me fire it back up. It says I'm still streaming. Okay, y'all are still here. Cool, it didn't crash the whole computer. So that, I gotta fix that. There's a low level error that happened. Yeah, so you're absolutely right, Pokey. So when I did that, I can see that it was gonna take me longer to, I have to go and do the animations right. Otherwise it just looked like, it literally looked like the snake was being bent like paper onto itself. So I have to make it work. But I'm going to, because that's a part of the true constricting that I want to show, like the body wrapping around the other body and stuff like that. Not just pulling it into a predetermined coil pose or whatever, but I want the body to wrap around the other body no matter what shape or position the other body's in, and I can do it. It's just taking a while. But yeah, absolutely, that will be added. So that's not actually that hard to program. It's a little bit like you have to get the right animation and then line it up with the turning speed and stuff like that. But eventually, because I want to have it to where you can have you can just be sitting in your coils with a rat in your mouth, and like you can like look around. Like I can do that pretty easily. Hang on. Is this on? I can't tell if this is live. Okay, there we go. Is the one called a hiss? A tail rattle? Oh, for the Python, it's going to be a hiss. It doesn't actually work right now, because I'm pressing 1, nothing's happening. So right now, the hiss is only if you attack, which I'm about to do in a second. Let me just move. I'm still waking up. The snake waking up is a little weird for me. I have to get it right. There we go. So that's the hiss sound. But I want to have the hiss warning, so you can just kind of warn something never to not come close to you. It automatically does it when you attack, though. The animals see that as an aggressive sign, and some of them run away. Now the actual rattlers, like the sidewinding rattler, that is not in the game but going to be in the game, that will be able you'll be able to like shake the rattler to warn things away. I'm wondering about the scent. Like I'm wondering about the calls for snakes, because they can hiss, but I think what's going to be more important is like pheromones and scent as a method of communication. A giant python trying to rattle, that'd be hilarious. I agree. This is why I'm not going to do that. um, Team Town says Animalia turning is more like Path of Titans or Legacy Isle. I think you might be right. Well, actually, I haven't played it. From what I heard, it's like Legacy Isle, except it's like more of a tank. Like, if you hold down D, from what I heard, it continues to circle and circle in orbit, right? That's different from Isle, because in the Isle, if you hold down D, it only orbits until it gets aligned to the right, and then it's going right. And so a radius for them means something different than a radius for that other game. Path of Titans is different. They have a different movement mode. Well, they have precise movement, which, if I'm not mistaken, equals alt turning in the Isle. We have that too. Want to see? Hey, got an alt turn. I have to attach I have to put the turning animations on it. It's not working yet. But somebody mentioned like being able to like be in your coil, and like in the Discord they have like a picture drawn. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm working on that. Let me see. Is it moving? There we go. But yeah, like, so I can, like, if something was around me, let's say I'm the black mamba, and I'm basically, I don't have to run, I can just, that's something coming. And you could strafe if you want. So that's the Path of Titans. We have something similar, but it's like, it doesn't make sense for every animal. Like, you can get it to look weird with the snake. See this? It looks like his ass is leading. Lovely Cal says, I bought it after playing your demo, and I was highly disappointed. From what I could tell, what they show is generally what you should expect. Unless you bought it and it's like the thing was just super laggy and stuff like that, because that's disappointing. But that's one of the reasons I'm not doing much multiplayer stuff right now. It's like I have to get into a whole world of knowing which server company to go with and getting all that set up, and making sure that the networking is going to work with the functions of the game that are not even in yet. Because some of that interferes with networking, the stuff that I want to do, because some of it can't readily be replicated on a server. So it's like getting a server early for this game would have probably not been a great move, because then I would be spending way more time programming stuff to not break the multiplayer stuff than getting the actual new gameplay mechanics and styles in, like grabbing something in your coils and constricting it to death, or like grabbing something as a crocodile and death rolling it, or like pouncing and stuff like that. I would be breaking it. I feel like, I don't know for sure, I feel like I would be breaking that so often, like it would hinder the progress of this game. I would rather put the mechanics that I want in the game first, and then make sure that and then make sure that multiplayer doesn't break them. Basically, I'm making. Let me stop talking. It's gonna get stupid and complicated. Anyways, but yeah, I feel what you're saying. The models were very cartoonish, and even on high resolution, I expected a lot of lag. Um, you know, two people can buy two of the same thing. There can be two models that are exactly the same and look completely different in a game. Part of that has to just do with like how you handle your textures and your lighting, you know. The other is the style that you're going for. I wanted something to look as realistic as possible, and I have a filmmaker's mind when it comes to lighting. Like I love soft light. Like I want the game to look beautiful all the time. Definitely did not want the cartoon look. So part of it is just you gotta do your lighting correctly, and then I don't know, sometimes it's the type of plants and stuff that you have, because I have some stuff in here that's like it's kind of ugly, but I know I'm gonna replace it later. But it's like some stuff looks kind of cartoonish out of the box, but there's stuff you can do to make it look realistic, a lot better, a lot more real. But a lot of it has to do with lighting. If you were to do like an X-ray vision and just say like how much stuff in my scene is affected by lighting, or how much of everything that I'm seeing is dictated by lighting, you'll find everything is. So it's like you gotta handle lighting for grass, you gotta handle lighting for everything. I don't know. It gets a little complicated. I don't know. I kind of thought that was more their style. I don't know if they did it on purpose or something, but like when I first started seeing the videos for that game, I thought they were going more for the Lion King kind of cartoonish look, which isn't a bad thing. But if they were actually trying to go more for a realistic look and they ended up looking like that, like, oh, okay, well, I thought that's what they were going for. Dang, man, I got so many comments that I haven't gotta catch up on. Let's see here. The animations are okay, but like I was playing solo and couldn't find not one animal. That's the thing. That's the issue. Multiplayer without people means you really should have a lot of AI or a lot of stuff that you can do in the game. But I think they're relying on other players to kind of fill that gap. Me, it's all the world is all simulated. This is The Sims. It's like you got wildlife everywhere. There are over 500 animals in this region, and there's 9 regions. So no matter what direction I go in, I'm gonna find creatures. But that's a different game. I couldn't actually do it the same way if I was doing multiplayer. I would actually have to temper that. So I don't think that the AI was their specialty, or what they were going for. I think it was more like, from what I understood, in the Isle, the AI was like feeder food. So when you get hungry, the AI comes. But they really are trying to rely on the players to be the ecosystem. Here, I want the ecosystem whether there are players or not. Actually, the default is I want the ecosystem without players, and then players can be in here along with it. But like that's a thing. Doing the AI is a thing. It's such a endeavor. I can't drink this water bottle. Doing the AI is such an endeavor that it's like, if that's not really your thing, then you don't really want to spend that much time on it, because I've had to change the system many times in the past year. Let's put it like that, and not because of my programming, but because of just how AI stuff works in Unreal. It's been changing a bit for the better, but it's been changing to the fact where I have to change the stuff, not edit, change. I have to rebuild it. Anyways, Opley Zed says hello. Welcome, Opley Zed. Welcome back. Kale says some of their controls, like to eat and to stop eating, were very buggy for me. Yeah, I had some issues with that. But it's like once I figured it out, I didn't really have an issue except when it came to carnivores versus herbivores. But generally, once I got that figured out, as long as I kept everything within the the system that I set up, didn't have to worry about it once it was done. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they would have those issues. And for something that you would think is simple like that, there's a lot of reasons why that can go wrong and look right in the editor, but then go wrong in game. So that's not surprising. But it could just be like, kind of sloppy on that. Oh, let's see if I can grab this stork. Come here. I can't grab the stork, but I think you should be able to, and I definitely will fix that. You will be able to grab the stork because it's small enough. I should be able to grab it. But you'll know right away if you can grab it or not, because when you bite it, you'll immediately latch on to it. If I can find a frog. I need a water. I want to grab a frog. See how that is. Hang on, let me check. I'm trying to keep up with these messages. They're coming in way faster than I can read them. Dylan Cross says, I can't wait to buy this game. How did the Kickstarter go? Remember, the demo's free. The paid game's gonna be better though. You're gonna have all the playable animals unlocked and everything, and all the other stuff. The Kickstarter went well. It's a mixed bag. Didn't make it, so I didn't make the goal, so I didn't get any of the goal money or anything like that. But I would say that there's positive to where it's like I did get how far did we get, like 80%, 75 to 80%. So we could have we had a better chance of getting there than a lot of I got the bird. We had a better chance. We did better than a lot of projects, let's put it like that, but we weren't successful, or I wasn't successful. It's not like I had a team or anything. But that's okay. That's okay. I wasn't expecting to be successful the first time. I knew there was most of the projects that try to do it the first time fail. I always felt like I'm probably going to have to do this a couple of times to try and get it right. But I was more concerned with, like, am I setting the right goal? Because what I'm trying to do is have enough for I need a new programming computer, because part of what's taken me a long time is I'm working with a machine that's really slow for what I'm doing. Another thing is I wanted to have some money to try and get a multiplayer server started so we can start testing. So some things took a back seat, but it was exploratory. It was a learning process. It was a learning experience, like that. So I did get a lot out of it. Like, I learned a lot about the platform, how it works, how I should go about trying it next time. But ultimately, it did fail to raise the money. We did raise 80% of it, which is good. But I probably should have set the goal a bit lower. because what I did not do right, I feel like, was take full advantage of trying to game the algorithm that scores which projects get put on the front page for promotion and stuff, because that has a huge impact on whether a project can go viral on that site. We didn't. Here's how the thing is. I failed in that, and that was the most important part, because we got zero help from Kickstarter. Zero. I wasn't featured on the page anywhere. Um, any days, all 30 days, I wasn't featured anywhere. Like, not the hot and fresh section, not the interesting and new, not the editor's pick, not the only feature I got was like in your area. You know? So if you happen to be in Florida and you went on Kickstarter, you would have saw the Great Circle pop up on the first page, but like you have to scroll down to see it, and it's like how many people are like searching on Florida? So, but that was always the thing about choosing Kickstarter over like Indiegogo or something like that. It was always about using that to reach a bigger audience. That was the most that I could gain out of that, other than the money. Was there's a chance, because most likely you're gonna fail, right? Which means you're not gonna get any money out of this. But there is a chance that you're not gonna fail, that you're gonna get your money, and a lot more people are gonna know about the project than didn't before, because you got exposed by their algorithm. I was always trying to go after the algorithm with the, oh, I was hoping that I was let's it's hard to describe this. I took for granted that I might be able to do it, because I obviously didn't strategize the algorithm effectively at all. Um, and yet that's the only reason to go there, other than going somewhere like Indiegogo, because then I would have got part of the money at least, or like a GoFundMe or something, where you get whatever you raise. Kickstarter is everything or nothing. So I got to get this alignment, because then it's gonna look really cool to see it slithering up the side and stuff. Because I know I can do it. It's just we gotta sit down and invest the time. But that's gonna look really cool. Let's see if we can wait here and find something moving around. But yeah, that's just chapter one of the whole Kickstarter saga. There's gonna be a second attempt down the road. God dang it! All I missed. I gotta try to speed through these comments. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Still alive. Yeah. And a dynamic constriction mechanic. That's ambitious. Um, yes, it is ambitious in that I don't think anyone's going to try what I'm going to try. However, I think I'm right, and if I am right, I'm a genius, because I don't think people are going to look at it and realize the method that I'm using to achieve the effect. But I think that it can work, and work well. Like I'm thinking of something that's going to look really, really realistic. But that's because I have a clever idea in my head for how to achieve that. Um, a lot of things in this game I've achieved through clever means, or else I wouldn't have done it as much as I've done it with the time that I have. I would have done a lot less. But I think I have a clever idea for how to do it. Like if we were talking just straight up coding, I mean just straight up like a straight on, let's say a straight on approach, like a straightforward approach to constricting, that would be really ambitious. Yeah, I would agree with you. We're talking about a lot of work, but I'm thinking of something. The thing about development of any kind, you got to be clever, because especially if there's one of me, I don't have anyone to pass this off to. So I've got to, whenever I have creative ideas for scripting or programming, I have to take advantage of those, because those are how I cut the corners and get out ahead. But yeah, I can definitely do it, I think. Hoping you succeed. Well, it may work, it may not, but I think it will. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it will. Roberto Hernandez, welcome. Dylan Cross says also, what's your main thing to do as an animal? What's your main thing to do as an animal in TGC? Also, if you need graphic designer or concept artists, I'm available for free. Oh, thank you for offering. I will consider that. I think you're asking, what's in this bush? Something, you guys see this bush? There's something right here. That wasn't the wind, right? I need to work on the wind code. That was definitely, I thought there was an animal. The bushes move a little bit too much. I need to make them a little bit more still because sometimes they look like something's moving in them and it's nothing. But that bush moved a lot. There definitely was something. But the thing is, I don't know if it was a small animal. It had to be a small animal, now that I'm thinking about it. It's over here somewhere. I lost it. Oh well, back to comments. I think you're asking what you do as an animal. So the gameplay loop right now consists of finding food and water and migrating to new regions where you can find more food and water and avoiding predators and forming a group in a very basic sense. So there's a bird right there. I got him, I think. Oh, that was a glitch. I didn't get him. He went through the map, is what just happened. He fell. I gotta fix that. When they die, they should just be on the ground. But there's a chance that some of them fall through the map, so unfortunately I missed my meal. Yeah, so like the gameplay loop is very basic, but I want to expand the gameplay loop exponentially at each level. At the level when you're an infant, at the level when you're a juvie, at the level when you're an adult. It really opens up after you're an adult because that's one reason why the tagline is survival is only the beginning. To me, that is just the beginning of what you can do with the genre. You can do a lot more. There's humans. There's lore. There's documentary mode. There's so much gameplay beyond just the basic eat, drink, sleep, survival. But that's kind of what I have right now. But the goal is to go way, way, way beyond that, and that will. Pokey says that was my suggestion. I forgot what that's in reference to. I'm scared to scroll up because I might crash the thing. This thing can be a little temperamental. Team Tano says there is kind of precise movement in Animalia. You double tap or you do 90 degree and you hold Alt to walk backwards. Oh, okay. So they kind of have that. Okay. I don't know what I should call it. Like, I don't want to call it precise movement because that's kind of like a name that Path of Titans came up with. But then again, I don't want to call it some obscure thing, right? To where it's like people wouldn't know to look for the controls. So maybe I'll just call it hard turning or like strafing or whatever. For the animals that can do it, and not all of them. Not all of them should be able to, in my opinion. Pokey says, walking backwards is definitely a rare but kind of obvious feature. Fun fact, snakes can't move backwards. You don't say. Yeah, that's why I'm developing the the 180-degree turn, not just like straight backwards kind of thing. So it does work on, like, if you could see code. If I let's say I'm facing this way and I press backwards, technically the animal is spinning backwards, so it's like it's not moving backwards. But if we're doing the strafe thing, see that, it's supposed to be spinning backwards when it does that too, but it's just not working yet. But if you were the computer, to you it is spinning around. So what's happening is the animation is stuck and it's not breaking into the spinning. You can see it breaking. See how it's breaking left and right? So I know that, and I thought of that, but it's like it's not done yet. I've never seen a snake slither backwards in real life anyway. Right now, Tano says, right now, for me, I like the direction of the game the Wild is going in. That's the, by the way, if you're gonna name a game The Wild, it's one of the most generic names you can do. I would think that that's a bad search engine optimization name, but then again, if you're gonna name a game The Wild and it actually is a wildlife thing, it kind of makes a lot of sense too. It's the one I'm most excited for at the moment, but that's just my opinion. Wait, let me read that again. Right now, for me, I like the direction the game The Wild is going in. It's the one I'm most excited for. I know what you're talking about. Tell me a little more. What are you excited for most in the direction of that game? Was there any particular direction that you like that is got you excited? Let me see here. Oh, Dylan Cross says, also, will you add idle animations for the snakes? This is kind of an idle animation, don't you think? He's not really doing anything, and yet he is doing something. See how he's kind of breathing? I do want to have the breathing like more snake-like, where it's like you can see their bodies expanding and stuff like that, but the thing is I can't do that yet until I get my coil stuff figured out, because that's going to affect all the animations for it. But yeah, this is idle because he's not doing anything. This is moving. Back to idle. And I'm gonna go into the coiled animation now. Don't judge this; it's gonna change. But this is them in the. This just snaps it. This is the idle just coiled up. I think this is what you actually meant. Like, are they gonna have like an idle coiled animation where they're just kind of wrapped up? And the answer is yes. They do have that. It's just when you hit the sit down button, it snaps into it, and then it snaps out. But it is going to slither into it, is what's going to happen next time. Dylan Cross is also, oh, I regret that one. Pokey says heavens no. Lovely Kale says, what PC do you, hang on. Get it while it's hot. Dang it. Did the same thing happen? The same thing happened again. So, alright, so there, I can see what's causing that now. If I'm too close to it, I can tell it went wrong because number one, I didn't hear that. So it just it went straight to the coiled thing. And then, like, if I'm on top of it, my mesh forces it downward. And unfortunately there's no ground beneath the ground, so I've got to work on fixing that. But if I next time I do it, I won't get that close, and it should work. Oh yeah, Lovely Kale says, what PC do you think would be suitable to play this game in regards to if you have a good PC, and what's the minimum requirements for a PC to be able to play smoothly? Good question. That is, I don't know the exact answer to that. What I can tell you is the I have like a few different computers, and what I test on is like a NVIDIA GTX 1050, and I feel like that should be your minimum right now. You technically could go lower, like you can go into like the 900s GT NVIDIA cards, and you could. I personally have the lowest card that I have is like a NVIDIA 1030, so I would say no lower than a 1030 for the graphics card, right? And I think that you can get that to play really smoothly if you go into your graphics and you tone it down a little bit. In the future, it's not going to matter. I'm going to have it much more optimized, but I think you get really decent frames with that if you go and you tone your view distance down and stuff like that. Um, and then if you have anything better, it only gets better. Um, for example, someone with a decent card like a 1080, I think Syndra, the Jiva, played the game on 1080, and she was getting like 40, 50 frames with the game with mostly the code that you have now. The only difference is I have some more animals and different functions and stuff. So if you get that with 1080, and then the most that I've seen, Lacer did a video and she was getting anywhere from 77 to like 111 frames, and most of the code was in there, most of the heavy duty stuff was in there, and she's got an excellent PC though, excellent. The graphics card is like top of the line. The PC is like $3,000 from what I understood. If I have the model right in my head, it's like a $2,000 to $3,000 PC. But that's like the top end, right? But yeah, minimum, like I would say, just from what I can verify myself, I would say 1030 minimum with graphics, with some graphical adjustments. 1030 is the lowest you can go. Processor i5, no lower. And then if you don't want to mess with your graphics, so if you want to have everything set to epic and have the minimum acceptable frames, which for this game you're looking at between 25 to 40, on a 10 would be a 1050, a GTX 1050. If it's running decent on a GTX 1050, you should get between 25 to 45, and I say that that's acceptable range because that's when you go below 25 is when you get noticeable chop. You know, this game does a really good job of, even though it's not 60 when it's not 60 FPS, it still looks pretty fluid and decent. But when you get to below 25 is when you really start to notice chop and stuff. So outside of that, I think if you can get 25 to 45, you're looking decent. And I think the GTX 1050 is the minimum that I can personally verify. But that's going to change. It no matter what. That's good. The performance on the 1050 is going to be much better. I'm aiming for 60 FPS with a 1050, and I know that I can achieve that because I saw some of the results when I went and put some of my code in the native functions that come with the engine. So I saw, oh, okay, it's just going to take a lot of work, but I can put all of my functions and stuff in that, and actually that will cut down the render time and therefore equal better frames. Put it like that. Long ass winded explanation, but yeah. Pokey says snakes rely on sitting still for camouflage. True, yeah. Hunting, survival, random animations. It sounds, or random animations or sounds would negate all that. True. So yeah, the animations would not be random. So it's like they wouldn't just go into a sitting pose. Like this is idle. But I think what they were asking about is what about this kind of idle? So yes, you can do this already, but it isn't doing it automatically. You have to press the sit. And when you do it, it's snapping right now. But it's not always going to do that. It's going to slowly do it in a snake way later. Now snakes don't do that, so you're not actually going to do that anyways. You know what I mean? It's just when you go into your sitting pose, you're going to have certain benefits from sitting like this. Like, basically, the benefit of sitting like this for the rock python is you look like a rock. That's going to allow you to ambush animals from this pose. So you can strike from this pose, and if you connect, then you can go into your constricting. But right now, it's just a sitting pose, and that's just a technical term because the snake doesn't sit; it's just coiled up. It's just a coiled pose that you're in right now. It doesn't really have a tangible benefit yet, but it will. Lovely Kale says, "Wait, what's a Kickstart?" They meant Kickstarter. Kickstarter is like a platform where a lot of projects, including game projects, movie projects, mostly it looks like board games are like the most successful and popular kinds of projects on there. They get funded a lot through Kickstarter. Alright, so here's where my drinking sensor is below the ground, so I can drink from right here, even though I shouldn't be able to. Yeah, it's so I went on there to try and raise some money for the game because it costs money to make this game. When I'm doing this, I'm not working. And when I'm not working, I don't have money to pay my bills. When I don't have money to pay my bills, I'm homeless, and then I can't develop the game. So it became necessary to try to raise some money. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, in a genre like this that's kind of new, you're going to want to try it multiple times, you know. Pokey says a crowdfunding website. Yeah, crowdfunding, that's the word. Team Tunnel says, feel like the wild has a mix of the things I like in an animal survival game. I like the animal movement and combat. From what I can see, lion has pounce. The sound effects are great, etc. Okay. Tano also says there's more I can say about it. Just don't want to type it out. They have devlog videos and YouTube if you want to check it out. The channel is Lone Thug. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know about that channel. I've seen it. Whenever people talk about the direct... Oh, gonna get that bird. Oh. The bird went in the water. Whenever people talk about the direction of a game and stuff like that, I always look for, like, okay, the direction is they're going to try to make the game playable. They're going to try to make attacks work. They're going to try to make it where if you drink something, it works. So I always like to think about creative direction. So when I look at other games, because I do keep an eye out, because as much as I want to just be a developer, just developing my own thing and not really caring, it is kind of business too. I'm planning to make a business out of this, so I have to be aware of competition. When I look at the direction of other games, I don't see anything really that is like really anything special. So it's like, so that's why I was interested when you said you like the direction of the game. I was like, oh, interesting. What direction, you know? What is there out there that anyone's doing that's not like, this is the Isle with a different skin? And it sounds like they have animals. It's cool. It's animal survival. It sounds like they have attacks. Okay, there's combat. And it sounds exactly like everything else. Ooh, I hear something. I hear something. But then again, from what I understand, that channel is like a single dev too, so it's like I never want to throw salt, especially if it's a single dev. Single devs rock. But yeah, if you're excited about that, you're definitely going to be excited about the only game in the genre that's going to have human poachers and story mode and poacher traps and quicksand and other things like that. and things that have not been seen in the genre before and stuff like that. You're definitely going to be excited about that. That's creative. That's direction. I'm being a little cheeky. Oh my god. I've got to work on night vision for the snake. I'm so low to the ground that the thing that is supposed to be making things brighter is not touching the ground. So it's a specific way that I have it set up. Alright, so we're gonna actually just spawn in somewhere else real quick. Night vision. I have to adjust the night vision for the snake. Right now it's adjusted for the elephant, and I'm not an elephant. That's potentially going to be a really interesting snake night vision. Because basically you're only going to be able to see scents. You're going to be able to see scents, and I'm probably going to line it up to like when the tongue comes out and like you smell the scent in the air. It's going to be something like that. The world's going to look different. I'm actually really interested in working on night vision for the snake because of how different it's going to look. Oh wait, there's more. I like a few more things. Lion can kick. Hold on. Lion can lick itself to stop bleed. That's interesting. Elephant can grab and drag things with its trunk. Animals get scarce. They get scarce. Are you saying scared or scarce? I think you're saying scared. I don't know, I feel like those are things to kind of be expected, to be honest. Like dragging things. Actually, I've only ever shown it in a dev stream where I was talking about how I want the nest building to work for Secretary Bird, and I showed the bird picking up twigs and stuff, and I was like, I want to make it to where you go and you collect twigs to build the nest, and I did show that the bird could pick up the twigs and stuff like that. But I was also saying like, well, this is actually going to work for every animal that can like grab something. So the engine is there, and actually, I'm actually using part of that for when I attack with the snake. It's using the grab on a character or a body instead of like an inanimate object like a rock or a twig or anything like that. So that's cool. If you think that's unique, then you're more impressed that I did it last year, even though technically I haven't put it in the game yet. But from what I understand, that game's not playable yet, like it's not available to play, so I feel like I'm a little bit ahead there. The pounce thing sounds cool though. If they got that to work, I'm like in the process of getting that to work. I decided to do this before that, but like I'm in the process of getting that to work. Once I have it to where you bite and you latch your body onto that, basically I want to use the same engine on that for the lion and the leopard and stuff like that. But yeah, but you guys should expect that. If you're gonna have a lion in the game, you kind of should expect it to be able to pounce at some point. It just depends on what you work on first. If I only had the lion in my game, like if I only had like say the amount of animals that Animalia has, or like let's say I only had 10, I think I would have pounce done for sure. I would have constricting done too. But I gotta have the variety. Now this is interesting, like the grass is so high over here I can't even see my body. But you can see the grass moving. Now this is gonna look better once I replace this grass, because right now it clusters. So when I move, you see clumps of it moving instead of like individual blades, and I want the individual blades. Like when you go through the dark ones here, now you can start to see the individual blades moving. But I want the high yellow ones to move like that too, the wheatgrass. Also, scars. Oh, that's I misread that myself. Scars. Yeah, that's cool. I plan to have scarring too. I wanted them to be like permanent though. Like when you get them, like not like in the aisle. Like if you get damaged up, you get scars. But if you heal, like the scarring goes away. I kind of want it to like last all your life. Like let's say like a crocodile bites your leg off, right? And then you have the limping animation. I want you to have that limping animation until you die. That's what I want to do. I want that shit to be permanent, like hardcore realism. So we'll get the scars too. It's gonna be it's gonna be mapped out with certain things that are gonna be long term in the game. So that's interesting. So far, it sounds like the exact same direction that we have. What's one thing that they're gonna do that we haven't done? You haven't seen TGC do, or I've explicitly said we're definitely not doing that. That you like, because it sounds like all that stuff is either in TGC or gonna be in TGC at some point. The licking to stop bleeding, I don't think I've ever thought of it that way. For me, the licking was always going to be to like groom, because I want grooming to be in the game. The licking was going to be to get ticks off of you, to groom your partners, to affirm bonds and stuff like that. I never thought of it as a way to like stop bleeding. So that is actually unique. But then again, I don't know if I like that idea when I think about it in practice, because then I'm thinking like, well, what if you have the bleeding from the back leg? Then you got to have the animation where he's like licking the back leg specifically. What if he's got the bleeding on his spine? Well, then you can't reach it, so then it's like you're gonna bleed to death or whatever. I don't think that might not work for this game. I don't think I probably would implement licking that way. So if they were doing that and that was like unique to them, that would be really cool. I like the idea of there being clear differences between competing games, because then they're not offering the exact same thing. So that's a unique feature. Licking yourself to stop bleeding. That's one that that sounds cool, but it sounds like I definitely wouldn't do it. As I'm thinking about it right now, it doesn't sound like something I would want to implement in this game. I like the idea of the licking for grooming purposes and to get ticks off of you and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be a lot of work for bleed. Like, it's gonna look cool if you do it right, but I don't think it's worth it to me. At least for me, not right now. Alright, let's do some more hunting. See something. Oh, Tano says they plan on doing more than African animals as well, so I guess that's the difference. Oh, okay, I like that. Because oh my god, I auto grabbed him by accident. Look, I have this tortoise. Let me stop slithering. I caught the tortoise. Look at this. I got the tortoise, bro. This is not realistic at all. I should not be able to do this. Like, because how am I going to get the shell? How am I going to constrict it? So this is not going to be a thing. This is just, it's happening right now, but don't expect that you're going to be able to grab a tortoise and do this. But you can see, like, the damage building up. You see it, 1 damage, 1 HP, 1 HP. It says eat, but I'm almost certain that I can't eat this. I'm gonna let him go. I might be stuck with him. I might have to. Oh, look at that. Alright, well, That's not realistic, so I'm not gonna include that. But like, that's kind of cool to see. Like maybe it'd be cool to like have it where you can try to do it, but it's like you never actually will suffocate it, so it would be like a complete waste of time to try to constrict a turtle. So they plan to do more animals than African. Okay, well that'd be cool. In that case, they're like Artemisia. I hope the next one though, like the next person who's like, I'm gonna do an animal survival game. I hope the next one is gonna be like some kind of continent or feature, or some kind of continent theme. Like it's like they're doing South America, or we're gonna do Russia or something like that. Africa's probably not the best one to do to be original because seems like that's the default entry way for anyone. Yeah, we're gonna do animal survival. Where does it take place? Africa. Oh, we got an animal survival game. Oh, cool. Where does it take place? Africa. Animal survival game, dude. Where does it take place? Oh, it's really specific. Really? Yeah. Really specific. South Africa. Like, okay. uh, to be fair, like 90% of like the wildlife documentaries is like Africa, so it's like you can't really fault people for that. If I was starting today, I'd probably not do Africa. If I was starting today, I'd probably want to do like the Amazon or something like that. This doesn't look bad, does it? If you're big, it does make sense to be able to move the multiple grass things. Donald says, I think I'm just glad the game has only been in development for a year and has the things that an animal survival game should have from the start and looks pretty polished. Oh, okay. Well, interesting. I've wondered myself, like, what should we start with? Like, what should a animal survival game have from the start? You know, there's only been like a few examples. Like, if you're going back last year, there's the Great Circle, there's Animalia, and there's nothing else. So I don't know what we're talking about as far as like standards of starting, but if we're talking like from a player standpoint, I can see what you mean. Like as a player, I want eating, drinking, all that growth immediately as just, of course, we want that from the start. We also want the pounce from the start. If you're saying they started with pounce, that would be impressive. If they're year one and they started at the beginning of year one with pounce, that'd be impressive. That'd be really cool. If everything you mentioned was like from the start, that'd be actually super impressive. Because I didn't get into anything that advanced till like till this year. But like pounce itself, like it's kind of I kind of feel like that's not gonna be that impressive very soon because like I feel like a lot of people are figuring that out pretty quickly. It's just the issue with that is like placement, and if you're doing multiplayer, there's issues with like making sure that that doesn't like get out of sync and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, like wasn't ISLE's servers crashing because of pounce or something like that? We'll compare when there's actually a game to release. We'll compare when there's a game available to play. Like if there's a playable download, I'd like to play it. I should probably play Animalia to kind of see where things are. I've only watched it on YouTube. I thought about doing the prehistoric Ice Age animal survival. People have suggested that to me so many times, probably more than other stuff. Like, people have said, like, if I wasn't doing this, it probably should be the, like, Ice Age mammals or something like woolly mammoth, saber-toothed tiger, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, but Dylan Cross says, I thought about doing prehistoric Ice Age animal survival called Ice Giants, and you could be a mammoth and a saber. Exactly what I thought you were gonna say. Saber-tooth tiger, and other things. That would be a cool. That would be a cool one to do. What would be most interesting about that one would not probably be the animals, or not just the animals, but probably be the landscape just as much as the animals. Pokey says, if. Hang on. Dang, it says new message. Every time I get ready to read something, the new message thing pops up and covers it up. Now I gotta scroll back. Hang on. God dang it. Oh, I missed a bunch of stuff actually when I was scrolling up. I didn't realize this thing was scrolling every time the message is scrolling too. Okay, but the Tano also said, I honestly don't care for the human side of it. I'm here for the animals. I see people every day. I don't know how much of the story I'll be interested in. I feel you. I feel that way about Path of Titans. This is like minutes and minutes ago. I'm responding to this comment, but I feel that way about Path of Titans with quests. I was never interested in quests. I like it as a novelty, like as like a pitching point to get me into the game. Did you know you could do quests in this? And it's like a new thing. Nobody's done it in the genre before, so I'd be interested in checking it out. But like, I'm here for the dinos ultimately, not so much the quest. But for me, like the game is about realism, so it's like, yeah, it's animal focused, but it's like that ain't all that's in Africa. There's actual people living in Africa, and not just that. There's farmers, there's army, there's government, there's companies doing mining operations. So it's like if you really want to be realistic, that's why the game expanded the way it is. If I want to be realistic, I'm gonna have to cover the influence of people, like the impact that people have in the environment and stuff. It can't just be as straight animals all the time. You know what I mean? The other thing is, after a while, I got bored with that. It's like, honestly, it's like I started to feel like, is this just like the Isle but with animals? And it's like, yeah, wasn't that the whole idea? And I was like, yeah, but I don't know. Now it doesn't feel all that special. So, you know, now it's like, no, this is its own thing now. So it's like I'm gonna be doing animals, and it's realism. So people are here too, you know. I think you're gonna like it though, Tano. Even though you're not interested in the people that much, you haven't really played an animal survival game with people in it, have you? Like, there's no other examples that anyone can cite. It's kind of like you don't know what you want until you try it. You're gonna try it, and it might not be good at first, but I think it will. I can make it good, and I think that it actually is a very important part of the experience. If we're doing realism, you got to be worried about poachers if you're an animal. Like, you're not going to just be worried about predators. You're going to be worried about the most dangerous predator on Earth, the human. So, I mean, it just feels like, hey, if the direction is realism, which it is, humans, it's a no-brainer. You got to have humans in it. But I think you'll like it. You may not be interested right now, but wait till you try it. I think you'll like it. I think it'll add depth. It'll be more interesting. Trust me. It's not like you're gonna have to deal with spamming humans all the time. You're only gonna run into them where it makes sense to run into them. Like if you see a village, you're gonna see humans. If you see a campfire, you're probably gonna see humans that made the campfire. So eventually it'll it'll it will work. You will like humans. Number one, humans are also a part of the animal kingdom. So you're gonna see those humans in the wild as well, and it won't overwhelm the other gameplay. It's just part of it. Oh, let me. I wish I did not have to do this to get the comments to show. There we go. Here's where I was before. So, Pokey says, if you finish the game, Pokey, I'm gonna finish the game. I'm not one of these 1 or 2 month flakes. Yeah, I've been here for a year, over a year and a half. Uh, it'll be 2 years by next May. So it's like if I was gonna leave, I would have left. There's like a crowd of games that always quits at like uh, the 6 month limit. If you get beyond that, is like the field narrows. Field narrows a lot. So we're long past the point of if I finish the game. It's gonna be the game is here. Um, so we'll get there. Let me see here. I got lost in that. I just completely ignored the rest of the comment. Let me go. Now I gotta scroll back and find it. Uh, there we go. If you finish the game, get decent success, and aren't burnt out, it does all sound nice. I would like to have some decent success. I would like to not be burned out. I don't think I'm gonna burn out with this. The only reason I've been able to stick with this is because I've enjoyed it. If this was not fun, I would have quit on month 4. I think. You know what I mean? Because those are the months where it was just technical learning and kicking myself. Like, it's like, why can't I get the sun to rise? Why can't I get the animals animation to do X, Y, Z or whatever? It's like learning how the engine works and how to do game development. I'm still learning that, and it's like the hardest part of that stuff is behind me. I probably shouldn't say that. Well, I should say if that was going to get me to quit, I probably would have burned out a long time ago. I think I'm here to stay. Again, I lost the comment. Let me get back. Oh, here we go. Maybe the Great Circle 2, South America. Interesting. Actually, I think if it works out the way you said, the Great Circle works, and I do a second game, I think I do the Great Circle like the ocean. I think that's what it would be next, because I've already done terrestrial life. I would be more interested in doing underwater. So now it's open world, underwater survival, filled. The that actually might be easier for me, dude, guys, because I could justify despawning animals for performance and stuff much easier when you lose. Uh, Basically, I don't have to create fog artificially to like be able to despawn stuff for performance. I could just like the water is murky underwater anyways. A lot of times when it's not, that's cool. You can see a lot more, but I think that probably might even be technically easier for me. I would just have to get a little bit used to the three-dimensional movement. Well, I kind of am. I have flight in this game, but like that would be my. I think that would be most likely my second game would be underwater life in open world. Although the field for that is already wide. Isn't there already like several underwater animal life games and stuff right now? I don't know them by name, but I recall seeing things. I'm not even talking about like prehistoric, like the depths or anything like that. Interesting title to bring up, but let's get off of that. Um, yeah, but I think that there's already people doing that, so that would be kind of interesting. if I brought something different to it other than just, hey, we got some underwater animals in this game and you can look for things for food and water and stuff. Pokey says, I would absolutely count the Roblox survival ones as well. Well, the conversation we were having has to do with like who's comparable to the Great Circle here and now. Since Roblox doesn't look anything like an Unreal game, is why I'm not counting that. Although, before I started, I looked around for a game like this to play, just to play, because I like the Isle, and I was like, I wonder if there's something like it. So I was looking around for it to play, and that's part of what led to my decision to start developing this game. It's like, oh well, it doesn't exist, so I'll make it. Though I did find Wild Savannah on Roblox before I started this, and I decided I wanted to do a Unreal, more realistic looking one with Unreal, and I just went ahead and started. From what I understand, Animalia was just kicking off around a couple months before that, but it wasn't in English yet. Like nobody knew about it then. I couldn't find it, and I don't think anybody knew about it until like a few months later when Depleon or whoever it was did a video, because they didn't put it in English, and you could look it up and search it. If I had been searching in Portuguese, I think I would have found something. And it's possible I wouldn't have even started this, because then I would have been like, oh, well, here's a project. I'll just, be a player, be a fan in this, and, wait for it to develop like the Isle and stuff like that. If Animalia had been further along when I looked, if I found it, I might not have even started this, because there would have been no need. But anyways, Pokey says I absolutely would count the Roblox survival ones as well. They've got some interesting stuff. There are some definitely interesting projects on Roblox. Arab Terror, I've heard of that one. The Lookout, never heard of that one. Holocene, TS test server, I've heard of that one, etc. Especially since they now upgrade to mesh models. I'm not sure how the platform works. The one thing I liked about Roblox was, one, it offered a lot of stuff for free. Two, it was a lot of pre-packaged, like the way that you build the stuff. It's kind of like a build your own website kind of thing, where it's like they'll let you be able to make a game using their method, and you don't really have to know code. But if you know code, it's better. And I like that. The only thing I didn't like about Roblox was I didn't feel like the graphics were good enough. When I started, I was thinking about, I want something that's like the Isle. It's like, this is interesting, 8 features, but it doesn't look like the Isle yet. It feels like it's not as advanced. Team Tunnel says, still have yet to see a Cenozoic animal survival game, which is sad. Isn't there one actually called Cenozoica? Or there is something like, actually it's called Holocene. Actually, somebody just mentioned it. Pokey just mentioned it. If I'm correct, it's called Holocene. Or am I getting my errors mixed up? Is Holocene a different period or whatever than the Cenozoic or whatever? If I'm not mistaken, though, there should be one called Cenozoic. Oh, hang on. Pokey says, coincidentally, there is one on Roblox, Cenozoic Survival. There you go. Oh, well, that's even different than Cenozoic. I think those might be 2 different titles. Dylan Cross says, I think a insect survival game and a marine life survival would be great. Insect is interesting. I think somebody linked me to one game once, and it was like very interesting. I don't personally feel that interested in insects, but I do admit it would be probably unique to do a game centered on insect life. Grounded. I'm just kidding. Which direction am I headed? I should head north. Tom says, I know I've played it. I want a game that's. Oh, I want a game that's not Roblox. You can only get so realistic looking graphics in Roblox. I felt the same way. Excuse me. That's why I went with Unreal Engine. Pokey says, Dylan Cross, Drunk on Nectar. That's what it's called. And the Depths Prehistoric Survival. So Drunk on Nectar was the insect game that somebody linked me to. That's the one I saw. It was like, oh wow, interesting. Somebody took a stab at it. I'm not sure how it's doing right now, but like that was the one. And then the Depths is the one that collapsed. It was supposed to be a prehistoric dino game that was underwater based, but it collapsed for many reasons. The main one being the main dev behind the game took off. He left, and though people have used the word scam to describe the situation, I don't personally, from what I understood personally, it didn't warrant the word scam, but it definitely is just kind of one of those games where it's like there was a lot of hype about it, and it ended up going the route that many took, in that it doesn't exist anymore. So it had a lot of hype, and now it's gone. Something about the guy got his account hacked or something like that, and that was the story. But people were really suspicious of that story because of how the guy handled letting people know about it, letting his devs know about it, and how he failed to continue to communicate with his devs or whatever. And it gave the stench of a scam, or that he was lying. But for me, a scam is something very specific. It's not that when somebody takes on a project and realize they're in over their head and they quit, even if they lie about the reason that they're leaving. It has to be a specific thing to be a scam, because you could sue if it was an actual scam. There would be criminal repercussions if that were actually the case. I think they went about giving people refunds, which I couldn't understand. How the hell did they give refunds if the guy took the money and ran off? That was the most suspicious part. Not only that he didn't how he hang on. I thought I saw something. Not only that the guy just left the project, but they said he took the money. But then I also heard they were setting up a server to do refunds. It's like, how do you guys have access to refund money? How are you giving people refunds? I don't know. I don't think I have the whole story, but from what I understood, it wasn't really a scam. To me, it sounded, again, I don't have the whole story, but from what I heard, it sounded more like a situation where the developer may have realized he was in over his head, and he took the easiest way out that he could. I wasn't sure, based on the information that I got, that the people who were still around were even telling the whole truth. But then the guy wasn't there to challenge it, so it's like you kind of have to take a lot of stuff for what it at face value. But yeah, that's a game that is not really working out anymore, and they gave up on the game, unfortunately. If I brought people into this project, I would not want to bring anyone who, if I was not around, couldn't continue to work on the project. To me, that's the only reason I would want to bring anyone in, is because I care about the game, number one. Like, this is my baby, it's my art baby. I want this to succeed, I want this to be something. Ultimately, I want it to be something for other people to enjoy, so it's like I would want to bring someone who could carry on if I weren't around. If something happened to me, if my house burned down, if I lost the ability to continue working on the game, I would want somebody else to have a copy of the game and to be able to edit the source code and continue on. That would be the only reason. That would be like the most important reason to bring other people in. So the idea that there are actual people with the role of developing the game working on it without the ability to continue on, it kind of signaled to me like issues of maybe the guy didn't trust the people around, maybe there were some other things that weren't public. It didn't sound quite right, because to me that's like one of the main reasons you bring other people in, is to ensure the future of the project. Otherwise, projects with one developer are risky in that way, because if something happens to the developer, what happens to the project? I would want this to keep going, so eventually I'll probably bring people in that will ensure the continued future of the project, no matter what happens with me. Oh, let's get some shots. Let's get back up to speed on this. I was talking for so long, there's probably way more comments that I have to read. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, Pokey says, look it up. If the new mesh models won't meet your standards, I have a feeling they are too high. I think I've seen more recent models and stuff on Roblox that are a definite improvement, but they weren't like, they still wouldn't be. Actually, I have to learn more about it. From my impression, they were an improvement over the old stuff, but it wasn't like Unreal Engine level. But certainly a welcome improvement, because that means like the Roblox stuff, they can now have much better high quality stuff and not have to leave the platform that they know, because that platform is actually a really good one for people who want to start off with game development. Even if you have experience, if you just want to do something simple, you know what I mean? If you just want to start to make your own game, it's got a lot of functions built in and stuff like that. It's definitely a good platform. Not my taste, personally, but it's objectively a really good platform to create things with and share with people. I want to see the updated stuff for Era of Terror though, because when I saw Era of Terror, when I saw Simo playing it, I was like, bruh, why are we doing this? What are we playing this for? It doesn't look like, it looks like Play-Doh, you know what I mean? This is how you know I lived in the 90s. There was something called Play-Doh, and there were actual animated cartoons where it looked like Play-Doh was just animated frame by frame. It just looked fake. But if that game got like updated mesh model, I assume they do, because when you update, that's a platform update. Like everyone gets the new stuff, right? If they have the ability to get new stuff and then they start working with the new standards and stuff, then it probably looks much better, because it has a decent fan following, I feel. Anyways, Tano says, I've seen the new models in Era of Terror. They look great, just it's still Roblox. There's still a limited. It's still limited. There's still a limit, unfortunately. It is what it is. It is what it is still. But from what I understand, it's a very, very, very good improvement. I'm gonna personally have to look into the Era Terra stuff, because that's one where I've seen it. That's one of the reasons that I didn't go with the platform, is because of the videos that I saw done with Era of Terra. I just kind of like I think of Era of Terra when I think of Roblox. And the other thing is, there are lots of other games that look different, even when Era of Terra was like kicking around and stuff. Donald says, I don't know what it is. I don't know it to be something. Hold on. I don't know what it is. But hang on. Let me turn my. I don't want to go into the water because it's going to mess with my turn radius, unfortunately. I have to fix that too. Now, the water does respond to the rain It's just kind of glitched, but that's one of the things that you're seeing right now with the water. Alright, so we need to head north after this. Back to comments. Thomas says, I don't know what it is to be something always feels off playing Roblox games, even when they're trying to be its own thing. It still feels like Roblox. There is a prehistoric ocean game in the works, and it's on Steam early access, called Prehistoric Marine Monsters. I have it. It's cool, just not enough people know about it. Some of you don't run. Not enough people know about it. Some you don't run into people. I got you. I've heard of that one. I need to check it out. It's basically like, I would say like The Depths, but people take that as an insult these days, or like a bad thing. Let me see if I can see him better through there. There's AI. There is AI. Some that's that. Oh, they do have AI. They got that. Okay. Well, if you don't have players, you better have some AI. Hey man, going single player is freaking hard. Like, I think in terms of development. Wait, hold on. Now the night vision looks like it's gonna work. Nah, hold on. No, it's off. Something's not right. Going single player is hard. Like, creatively, I don't think people know how to approach it. Like, it's difficult to really like, if you're doing multiplayer, the game kind of makes itself in that the players are basically making the gameplay fun for themselves, like by playing with each other, by making activities for each other. You know, you see servers doing their own events and stuff like that. You kind of are relying on the player base to kind of create part of your game for you when you're doing multiplayer. If you're doing single player, you kind of, it's a harder way to go, in my opinion. It's one of the reasons that I want to do it. One, because it's more challenging. I like challenging things. But number two, I knew it would be, you know, something, if people wanted to try to go the same way, it'd be a hard thing for them to try and copy to do. Because, like, you actually have to come up with your own game script. You have to come up with, like, you know, gameplay that isn't going to be the players making it for you. Scripted events and things like that. And you can't blame anybody if that shit doesn't work, because it's like, that's all you coming up with that gameplay. That's one of the things I think will make us really special. Really good, I think. Because I think it's actually going to be fun to do single player. Yeah, the night vision is not quite working out. Not in its current form. I think I just have to make some adjustments. It's tolerable, but let me see something. Nah. Let's switch it up. Let's see if we can get a different region. I think this will be towards the end of the stream now. Team Tom says, also would like to add, it's more the environment than the dinosaurs that look bad in Roblox. Noted. Tell us how you really feel. all I remember is the models, is the dinosaur models. I care about that more than the environment, to be honest. What are we at? We're at, oh Jesus, I didn't know I was streaming that long. 2 hours and 46 minutes. Okay, I think I'll go just 15 more minutes, so we'll get right to the 3 hour mark. We'll call it there. Because now I want to hurry up and get back into the editor and start to make some corrections, and then like start to finish the constricting, because you haven't seen yet what I want to show, like where the body is constricting around the body of what you are constricting. And God, if that works, I'm so confident that nobody will figure that out for like a year. Maybe longer. Actually, maybe people will figure it out pretty quickly. If Unreal doesn't stop updating shit, like they keep sometimes I'll figure something out, like with blueprints and stuff, and then it's like they'll make it like built in to where it's like you don't have to do it manually. It's like, ah. Well, at least I got the knowledge. Yeah, but I think the constricting can look like, somebody said I wasn't gonna be able to do constricting. Like somebody specifically said like he would need a team the size of the aisle to do constricting. They're like it takes a lot of work. I think the person who was saying it was actually uh, I can't actually remember the context, but they thought like I would need like a team the size of the aisle, because I think they were comparing like when the aisle added certain mechanics and stuff like that. It took them X amount of people, X amount of months and stuff like that, and I was already showing the constriction mechanic working by the end of the stream. So I was like, one of the reasons I went 8 hours on that stream was because I was like, you're underestimating me. Like I know I don't have a team or whatever, and I know this is only like my I'm in my second year of doing this, but you are underestimating me. I didn't get this far ahead of the other game because I couldn't. Oh, that's like the second time that I've heard the trap sound at the very beginning of the level. It definitely isn't going to be right near me when I come in, so I'm probably, yeah, I know it's wrong. I have to go and set that audio to be where the thing is. Because right now, if a random animal just got stuck in that trap, no matter where I am in the world, I would hear the sound as if they're right next to me. So that's a glitch. Actually, a animal just got stuck in the trap is why we heard that sound. I'm nowhere near the trap though, is the problem. But the interesting thing is that it's just happening somewhere out there in the world, and we don't know where. But if I find the trap, I'll see the animal stuck inside of it if it hasn't starved to death. Oh God, I think I'm in that laggy region. There's a trap. I'm gonna give it a minute to see if this stops lagging. There's a lot of animals loaded in right now. That's too many. I do have an optimization method. It's supposed to be automatically kicking in. Let me give it some more time. But this area is chunking hard. If it does catch up, this area is going to look really good because there's a big old herd gathering right now. This is one of the reasons it's lagging. But this is supposed to happen while it's fading in from black. That's part of the reason I have that. It's supposed to be done with all this by the time it comes in, so we'll give it a little more time. Pokey says, is the constricting plan to be realistic? Meaning the head strikes first, then the coils get thrown on? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. And I'm talking about finishing my constriction, because I've only begun it. It's not finished yet. Let's say it has stages. I'm in stage 1 to 2 when I actually am planning 5 stages of that mechanic being finished. The finished version is literally I strike, the head bites onto something, the head does not go back, the head stays bitten on, and the body will come to the body that it's biting and start to wrap around it. So it will look exactly like it does when they actually do it. Barring one certain factor that I don't know how that's going to work, and that's my uncertainty. The worst thing would be it'll start off looking great, and I'll have to like do a little patchwork to finish the way that the animation works, and then it will end up where it should be, just not getting there the most realistic possible way. But yeah, it will look absolutely better and realistic. Right now, at stage 1 to 2, it kind of works for small creatures because I can grab them and I pull them in, but I want to grab onto something bigger and then wrap myself around. That way, the animal will actually be able to keep running away while my coils try to wrap around them. And if I'm successful in getting it on them fast enough, it'll trip them up or it'll slow them down and it'll stop. But the body will be wrapped around. It will look much better. Let me try moving away from the water. Let's see if that works. It feels like there's just every animal in the entire region loaded in and doing different stuff. And that's why it's chunking, but let's give it a second. I'm just going to start moving in the direction, and let's see if the thing starts to improve. Because I want to be in this region because it looks nice. And there's a bunch of herd animals in here. Let's try to move away from this giant group of animals. God dang, there are elephants over there too. Yeah, but who else is there anyone else constricting in the genre right now? Or I'm just head start on that, on everything else. It's gonna look weird. I think the game's gonna be in a different place by the time I start constricting people. You can see like the screenshots of a big old python. It's constricting a live human. We're gonna have some ethical questions about that. You're like, should we be showing it? Pythons constricting people? Team Tom says, OMG, I just tried to play Prior Extinction on Roblox. Pretty much the same thing as Air of Terror, and I die of thirst within 2 minutes. What the heck? Ah, interesting. That's a game that I've heard the name of many times. I've heard the name Prior Extinction, but I've never seen even any videos of it. But if it's like Era of Terror, that's surprising, just because of how much I've heard. I didn't know it was a Roblox game, to be honest. Thought it was something else. I'm thinking of Second Extinction. That's what I'm thinking of. That's a completely different game. Pokey says a suggestion: slightly decreasing the thickness, making the python a bit thinner, would make it look longer, more imposing, and more realistic. You're partially right. I think that makes sense in the beginning, like when you're younger. The thing is, we don't start off that young right now, because right now I'm at 40% growth. Right now, what you're seeing right now is how it should look if it is like a full size and not fed and not starving, just kind of middle health status. But what I'm going to do is this is going to be based on if you are hungry, you're going to be skinnier, and if you just fed, you're going to see a big lump in the middle of your body, like you just fed on something, and that's going to be proportional to the size of whatever it was that you just fed on. I don't think this is going to speed up. Let me look around. It seems like none of the animals are like being optimized. It's like everything is being in at once. If that's the case, you're talking about close to 1,000 animals moving around doing whatever, inside or out of sight in the world right now, which is why it's doing this. Every region has close to 1,000, which would look great if my computer would handle it. Like, this actually might be playable on like a $2,000 computer. Like, you actually might be getting decent frames, and you literally would have thousands of animals moving around if that's the case. But I don't know, because I don't have a computer that's that good, and like, I don't actually know if the reason this is happening is because animals are not being despawned if they're not in, or whatever. Anyways. But yeah, that's the appearance of the animals, and that's not just the snake. I'm working on when they eat, that the belly should enlarge a bit to show that you've eaten food. If you are fat, like if you look at the bottom right hand side of my screen, the reason that I have fat reserves on there is each animal can have the ability to get really chunky. So that's going to be proportional to your fat. So I have that system in place on the back side. It's not showing itself yet, but it will. And when it does, that's when the animals models will show some signs of expansion and deflation. All right, let's try a different region. I've got it's 9:45. Hang on, how much? Oh no, we're almost done. Well, let me just if just to show something smooth before we call it a day. Yeah, but there's also the thing though, Pokey, like not all the animals, not all the if we have 10 rock python players, some of them are going to end up longer than others at full growth. Some of them maximum size isn't going to be as long as others, and some of them are going to look fatter. Part of that, that's all meant to be a reflection of kind of just like the randomness of wildlife and stuff like that. Like, it's just some animals, if you're better fed, you're probably going to be bigger and stronger and stuff at your max size than if you're not. And if you are playing to be stronger, you're probably going to be bulkier looking. And if you're playing to be faster, you're probably going to be skinnier. So that's going to kind of come down to how you play the animal, as well as some random things that are out of your control. But it will be changeable. It will change, but you have limited control over that. Like, some people are going to have the different, I was almost saying fur coat, but scale colors and stuff like that. Some are going to be lighter or darker. Some are going to have a little different color. You know, if you're starving, if you're not healthy, you're going to be shedding ugly, unhealthier looking skin and stuff. That's another thing. I got a cool idea for how the skin shedding is going to work. I think that's going to be really cool. I know where I am. Am I in the mountains? I'm in Mountain Kangalay. Alright, but it is time to wrap this baby up. I think I'm... maybe wait till the sun gets a little bit higher. That's when I go that way. I would like to end with like a rabbit kill or something cool like that. But we're on Mountain Kangalay, and we need some more mountains on the backside. Yeah. Ignore that tree. It's supposed to have collision. Let me see if this. Yeah. So the snake can climb. It doesn't look good, but it's like you can actually. Once it's done, you're gonna be able to show yourself slithering up into the trees and stuff like that. But as you can see, I made it so you can get into the branches and stuff. And once the function that I've been describing, where your body wraps around the other body of what you're constricting works, I can apply that to branches as well. So your body will wrap around the branches that you're in. But you can show yourself you can climb trees if you're a snake. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This has been The Great Circle. It's an animal survival game that I've been developing since May 2020, and we are at a point now where we have 83 individual species in the game. 22 are playable. The demo is free. You get one playable the elephant in the free demo, and if you're a Patreon subscriber, you're going to get the 22 playable species in there, including the lion, zebra, leopard. Oh, actually not zebra. Sorry, zebra's not done. The lion, leopard, secretary bird, golden eagle, fennec fox, rhino, wildebeest, lots of others. I was hoping to also see a pangolin, because people had been talking about pangolins. When we're going to see pangolins, they're in the game too. I just never ran into one. But yeah, so we're doing pretty good. We've got some more things to work on. You can see the terrain alignment needs to be added next. I think that'll be one of the next big things to show. People probably won't notice it because I've been cleverly working with a lot of flat like landscapes until there's been terrain alignment. But we're getting there. But yeah, in the link below the description, you can find links to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all the sites where we have an account. Type in The Great Circle anywhere, you'll find The Great Circle's official account. Follow us. Don't forget to leave a like. Share it with your friends. And yeah, you can join the Discord to find the latest news about the game. If you want to play the demo, in the link tree, one of the links it says free public demo. Click on that. And we're also on Steam, so wishlist the game so that when we launch on Steam, that's when everyone gets it, everyone gets the animals and stuff. You'll be the first to know. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Let me see if there were any other questions before I go while I'm here. Oh, well, I had a few actually. Pokey says, you're the first ever person to start work on constriction outside of Roblox. Only Snake Pass even thought about it. Oh, interesting. I assume it's because it's really hard to do. I will give the name. I will give Team Talent says I will give the game points for having Protoceratops as a playable. I like them. um, he's talking about another game, in case people are wondering. I'm aware of the factors, but I have interacted with and seen enough big pythons to know that that model is a bit fat. Seriously, making it a bit thinner would improve it drastically. Well, Pokey, you are just wrong. Yeah, that's all right for now. Very nice stream. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Yeah, some things are not about realism even though it's a realism game. Some things are not about realism. Some things are about practicality when it comes to game development. And when it comes to realism, though, you've got to wait a little bit. Some things are in the middle of being complete, not totally complete. But it's going to be dynamic. Like I said, when animals are hungry, they're going to look like they're starving. Is the whole point. But what are they when they're not starving? What are they when they're not fully full? They're going to have the middle ground. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's a big African python, and it looks cool. All right, let's go. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Take care. I'll see you next time. Out.